Morning. I need to get the extended version of that clip. I mean, I think that clip's about a minute long, but I always feel like it's too short. Like I need more. Um, Good morning, everybody. Bunch of people hanging out in the chat already, and I may have a guest joining me this morning. Matt, Comics by the Bay. Good morning, Lucretius. Wow, Lucretius, Matt beat you in this morning. Chop is here. Good morning. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's catch up. Remy Q. I saw Remy. Morning, sir. Remy had the Breakfast of Champions yesterday on Legion of Comics. I believe he was eating an ice cream cone. Very impressive. Jim is here. Good morning. Got to hang out with Jim on Gary B's channel on Thursday. That was a fun time. Phil, good morning. And Phil's got his show this morning at 11 following this one, so definitely go check out Phil. Fanboy Prime, good morning. Hope you're feeling well, feeling better. I know you were been a little under the weather. Cat fan. Yeah, I was running late this morning. Chip Getler he streams usually Saturday morning. He's playing games. So he usually does like a golf game, and they were playing some other type of game this morning. So I got sucked into that and was running a little late this morning. Scotty Vaughn, good morning. Scotty just celebrated his year on YouTube, so really cool. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. SCA, all the way from the Philippines, good morning. Jacob's here. Appreciate you being here. Jay's here. Good morning, Jay. Neil, yeah. White Mojo Wolf was streaming this morning. He was doing some video game stuff. I didn't see you there. I thought maybe you'd pop in. Catching up. Seth, good morning. Just making sure. Couple Comics, Will, good morning. Appreciate you being here. Making sure I'm not missing anybody. Everybody saying hello to everybody. I know, hopefully, your Saturday's going well. It's, I know most of the country is getting hit with some cold, northeast cold weather, some snow. We're really cold. So last Saturday, it was 70 degrees here. And then today it's like 30, 31 this morning when I woke up. So, very cool. Appreciate it. Durs is here. Good morning. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, just kind of a crazy swing. Like I said, last week it was in the 70s. I was raking leaves, doing some yard work in shorts, and now it's below freezing this week. So I know Buffalo and northern New York is getting hammered with snow. I think it was like 5 feet of snow in Buffalo as of last night when I was watching the weather, watching the news. So crazy. Yeah, I think my daughter sent my son a text. She's down in Orlando, and she was like, it was like 55 degrees in Orlando, which is crazy cold. Cooler for Orlando. So, and here's the man from way north.
Mm-hmm. This is very early, Chris, Brian. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Like the Spidey mug.
I think I may have picked this up while I was in Orlando.
How's the weather by you? I know northern New York is getting Buffalo area getting hammered with snow.
So yeah, Buffalo's getting hit with that lake effect storm, and it started yesterday or maybe Thursday, and it's continuing on through to Sunday. Pardon me. They're at the bottom. They're at the corner of Lake Erie. I'm on the northern part of Lake Ontario, so it's been snowing here for about 4 days, but nothing like what Buffalo's got.
Right.
I got maybe over a span of all this time, maybe 2 or 3 inches. A little bit of accumulation on grass and stuff, but the roads are just wet, so it's nothing like like dire straits like what Buffalo's having and all those images, what's happening down that way. But so it's funny. They moved the game to Detroit, but then I'm hearing Detroit's about to get hammered too.
Oh, really? Yeah. I saw that because I heard people saying, that the game wasn't going to be played in Buffalo, or was canceled, or they're not playing in Buffalo. And
Yeah.
I was looking for the news because I'm like, all right, well, the game's still on the schedule. So, and then I saw that they were moving it to Detroit, but
Hmm.
Detroit still has a dome, right? Or do they have an open air? I forget.
No, so they have just a build. Like, it's a dome, I guess. They have a roof. It's more like a building. I've been there to see the Lions play the Vikings. It's a good environment. To me, it kind of reminds me of Indianapolis, just not quite as bright.
Okay.
Yeah, that part of Detroit is actually very beautiful. That's where Comerica Park is, and across the street is Ford Field. They've really done a beautiful setup with that whole part of the city. But yeah, it's funny. Like, I know that we normally talk comics at this point in the morning and everything, but the Buffalo Bills just announced or just released photos of the new stadium that they're going to be building in the next couple of years, and it's an open air stadium, and yet here we
Oh,
are
wow.
after the plans got released that they're moving the game. They're moving the game to Detroit. But yeah, they're doing it for infrastructure reasons, in my opinion. Like, Orchard Park has just been hammered. There's no what they don't think they're going to be able to get it cleaned up and have everything ready safely for people to be inside the stadium.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what the whole thing is about. But yeah,
And I'm
this
sure just
is
they don't want those, 70,000 people on the roads to get to the game
yeah,
if it's bad. So yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
Um,
and yeah, I'm one of these. I've been season ticket holder for the Bills and everything, and Bills need a dome. Simple as that. I'll be honest. And
yeah, I'm surprised. I remember, when they were building MetLife
yeah,
Stadium, they talked about adding, or retractable roof or a dome to it, because the weather obviously is part of the elements. The wind in MetLife has always been a thing.
yeah,
And certainly, like the Bills, when it's cold, they can maybe run the ball a little bit more. So there's a factor of the weather, the elements in the games, but
right.
and I remember them talking about building, like I said, the retractable roof or a dome, but it was like, I think it like doubled the cost, of the stadium. It was like such a big expense that they opted not to do it. So
But let's be honest. It's taxpayers that foot most of the bill anyway,
yeah,
right? Unless it's Jerry Jones, and
right,
look
right.
what Jerry did with Jerry World down there. It's perfect. I think if the Bills had that, they'd be great. Yeah, Remy. I'm more into it.
Well,
uh,
yeah, and
yeah,
Remy's got the Panthers right by him, so you gotta. I mean, not that they've been any good, but the last year or so, but
yeah. It's cool. Like, I've been on Remy's channel, and he put like a Canadian background and stuff,
yes,
and
I've
like
seen the hockey jersey and
yeah, yeah,
the Canadian. Yeah,
and I was thinking the entire time, like, I'm like, with the amount of time I travel in the United States, I feel like I'm like one quarter American at this point now. Like, I've been all across the continental United States and spent significant time there. Like, I love the United States. I'm one of these realists. I realize without the United States, there is no Canada.
yeah. The PO box. It was funny because when
Mhm.
you sent me your, I had a win from your 800 subscriber giveaway,
Yeah.
and so I got the package and I looked at so it came from your PO box in New York. That was the
Yes.
return address. So I
Yes.
looked it up because I was recently up in Niagara Falls, and
Yes,
so
you
I
were.
was like, oh, I was right near where Chris's PO box is.
Literally. So you didn't cross over to the Canadian side to see the Horseshoe Falls. So yeah,
No, no.
you were on the American side. Yeah, my post office box, literally from like the lookout point, is about 6 or 7 minutes. Yeah. Like, when I say I'm in the United States all the time, I literally just dip in and then dip back out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and there were a lot of, like, when I was there, I noticed a lot of post office box like places, because
Oh yeah.
obviously, there's probably a lot of people that, come over to do that. So have a US shipping address to save on
Yeah.
shipping.
It's true. That the local economy of Niagara Falls, New York, and to extent Niagara Falls and West Seneca and Orchard Park. There is a lot of Canadian tourism that goes in there to support the local economy, and vice versa the other way as well. A lot of Americans travel into Canada because their dollar goes a lot further, and there's deals to be found there when when your dollar goes so
Oh,
much
sure. Yeah.
further.
Yeah.
But when COVID happened and the border closed for, I believe it was 16 or 17 months straight, but when that border opened back up, and you get in there, all those American retailers are so thankful to see the Canadians come back, because they didn't realize how much they actually depended on the Canadian dollar there. And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing coming back into Canada. All those tourism hotspots in Niagara Falls, Canada,
Right.
they all suffered greatly for the Americans not coming up just to get the view of the Horseshoe Falls from the Canadian side. But yeah, it's a wonderful thing that you and I share.
Yeah, I was,
Being one
we
state apart.
went up a little bit off season. It was like the September, so a lot of stuff was closed in that area, in the Niagara Falls area. But you could see, I'm sure peak summertime that place is crazy. It's got to be packed.
Yeah, it's one of the wonders of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like both the Canadian and American side are just welcome people from all around the planet who come to see Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's beautiful there. I mean, such a beautiful area, and yeah, I mean, whether you see it from the American side or the Canadian side, it's um,
Yeah, and
it's
it's a
breathtaking. My wife was there; that was her first trip, so she
oh
was in awe of it. Yeah.
I way back many years ago, I got a chance to hop on the Maid of the Mist, and so I did that tourism thing, and I got to admit, like, growing up so close to Niagara Falls, it's just something that's just a way of life. So you don't really think about it. Toronto has the CN Tower. For decades it was the wall. It was the tallest freestanding structure in the world. So you don't participate in it because, hey, it's just a part of my life. It's just my backyard. But this one day, a group of us went on the Maid of the Mist down to Niagara Falls, and I happened to get at the bow of the boat, and I was standing right there, doing a Titanic moment.
Oh,
And
okay.
the ship literally goes probably 150, 200 feet close to where at the Horseshoe Falls, into the crest of the Horseshoe Falls, stops there and backs up. But when you're down there in that boat and you look up and you see how majestic it really is, and deafening, and you really take it in, you're like, now I understand why everyone comes there. This is just incredible. And yeah, so that's it. Before I would always say, why are you wasting your time going to Niagara Falls? Like, there's so many other cool things. Like, go enjoy food. Like, go visit Toronto. Get to see what a multicultural city really looks like, and all these different ethnicities and flavors. Now, my attitude is, anyone's coming to this part of Canada where I live, the one thing I always say is, go see Niagara Falls and go hop in the Maid of the Mist if you can do it. It is incredible to be a part of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm the same way. Growing up on Long Island and close to New York City, I had never been to like the Empire State Building, like all of the tourist type things, and I've done them since. But when I first met my wife, she was like, "Oh, have you been to the Statue of Liberty? Have you been to this?" And I'm like, "No, it's just something I haven't done because it's right here." So we've eventually done all of those things, but it's just funny, an outside perspective on something like that, or when you live locally, you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
I would, just before COVID hit, I think I told you this story before, but I went to New York City for the third time, and one of my favorite heavy metal bands, Slayer, was doing their final tour, and their third last stop on their tour was Madison Square Garden. And I always said, would love to see a Rangers game or a concert or something at the Garden and just take it all in. So my friend and high school friend and I, we made the trek from Ontario down to New York City. It's about a 9-hour drive because you got to go out to Syracuse, and then you cut south there, and you got to cut through like some of the Appalachians, or pardon me, yeah, the Appalachian Mountains and everything that's coming through there, and then you come down low, and then you kind of dip into New Jersey and come back into Manhattan that way. And So I'm going to show a couple pictures just because, like I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you were ever to put a capital for the planet Earth, it's New York City without a doubt, and maybe Tokyo as a backup. But it's funny you said Madison Square Garden. Now I've walked around Manhattan before, and actually ended up in Times Square on the day after Christmas, and I was walking through Midtown Comics, and Frank Miller was there. So I actually
Oh
got a
wow.
photo with Frank Miller. In Canada, we refer to it as Boxing Day because it's a holiday that we celebrate as a part of the Commonwealth. But in the United States, I know you guys, it's just the 26th of December to you. But afterwards, the next trip down was, like I said, the November before COVID hit. I'm trying to find the photo. Uh, and my friend and I were walking around. We arrived in Penn Station, came up through Penn Station, and then there's that sign, "You have arrived," and then it's a Madison Square Garden logo. And as you know, tourists or people that have often thought about and dreamt about making it to New York City and seeing these landmarks, that was so cool. Like
Yeah,
I get it. Like a
yeah,
lot of New Yorkers are like, yeah, it's just another sign,
yeah.
but as a tourist, you know, it's something that is just
Oh, what did I do? Let me make you
it,
big.
something that's just astounding. So this is the drive-in, and the new Freedom Tower was there. I was not fortunate enough to see the Twin Towers before they fell, but we went to our hotel in New Jersey and then took the train into Penn Station from New Jersey, and sure enough, we're walking around Madison Square Garden, and I'm like, oh, I got to do some touristy things. I don't do it very often. I don't. Like I've been again, I've been all over the United States. I don't really take touristy pictures, but New York is just one of those places. And as we're walking along, I stopped my buddy Dean. I'm like, stop for a sec, look up. And he's like, what? I'm like, God damn, it's the Empire State Building.
That's great.
So yeah, and there's just so many cool things, like even like the public library and stuff like that. It's just it's so cool just to witness, because all this older architecture doesn't exist in Toronto, where I was born and where I grew up, because Toronto is a really new city compared to New York. And as a cigar smoker, I did have to stop at Nat Sherman's, of course, to have a cigar, and I lit it up right inside the store. And as Americans, you guys need to realize how lucky you are that you can have a cigar and smoke it inside, because in Canada that's all illegal. And yeah, then walking across Broadway and stuff, and just the sights and the sounds, getting ready
Yeah,
next
I
day
mean
to go.
Times Square, and then you've
Yeah,
got Broadway. I mean, there's just
and let me
endless.
tell you, your fire department is very loud.
Yes.
I thought Chicago had the loudest fire department in the world, but nah, New York makes it real. But yeah, it's again, I've said it before, and Brian, I know your affection for New York and everything, but if we were to, as human beings, if we were to capitalize the planet Earth, my vote is New York for the capital.
Yeah, it's definitely a great place. Plenty of things to see. It's been a little a little different since COVID, and a lot of people leaving, and
Yeah,
crime has been up. But I was recently, I went into New York Comic Con, and Penn Station is currently under like a full renovation.
yeah,
There is
yeah. I saw
nothing open in
photos.
Penn Station. It is
Oh, okay.
so walking through, it's just like temporary walls set up. So this was about a month or so ago. So
So no restaurants, none of those little gift
everything's
shops,
closed.
those
Everything's
convenience
closed. It was a
stores.
weird experience to walk
Okay.
through because it was just, like I said, just temporary walls. You could hear the construction going on behind it,
Yeah.
and I was a little almost lost coming up out of off the train because it was just so I couldn't get my bearings because of the these temporary walls. So it was really I mean, it's a full they're renovating the entire station. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of crazy to see. So
It's such a I'll be honest, Penn Station is a special place too, because Going into the concert that day, Brian, we actually had a lineup outside Madison Square Garden. So there we are, wrapped around the building, and we were facing Penn Station. And my buddy Dean and I were just like, how many movies has this building doubled as something else for? And we literally started looking it up and like, my God, man, New York really is a mecca, even for filming, because, you know, it's been used in countless Batman movies and superhero movies, but then dramas and then fictional cities where New York doubles as somewhere else. But
Right,
Penn
right.
Station often gets used as something other than just a subway and train station. It gets used as like a city hall or an old school university and stuff like that. It was just like, man, this place is so goddamn cool.
Yeah, and it's a good place to see. I've seen concerts, I've seen hockey, I've seen basketball. Basketball was exciting. I'm not a big basketball fan, but to see it live at the Garden, and I got somebody gave me tickets and I had really good seats, and it was amazing to watch. You know, it live. You know, TV's okay, but watching it, you know, seeing everything going on the court was fun to watch.
Yeah, the one thing I can say that's cool, I've been to a few Raptors games up here in Toronto, and I've been to Maple Leaf games and some other and Blue Jays games. When you, at least for Raptors, when you go to Raptors, that's a whole different experience. They are loud in it. Like there's music being played as the game is actually happening. That's something as growing up as a hockey fan, I wasn't aware of. Like, because usually when the puck drops,
Right, everything
it
stops. Yeah,
everything stops other than the crowd noise for a big play or something. Nope. Raptors basketball, and I hope it's the same way with other basketball stadiums and arenas, that music continues on and people are in it, and it's just like as the players are moving forward into the offensive zone, like, yeah, it's so damn cool, man. Like it really is something to experience. And then I went and saw American football and blew everything out of the water. Like that's just
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
third down
I
defense on the field. That is incredible.
just hit the. You know, I was just at the Giant game last weekend. They
Yes.
beat the Texans, and you know, it's been a couple of years since I've been to a game, and the crowd was really more into it. It seemed like, you know, and it was when the Giants were on defense, it was get as loud as you can, and then when they're on offense, it was like, you know, they had up on the scoreboard some of the players like telling everybody to quiet down. You know, the team's on, you know, on offense, so it was interesting to see the dynamic. I mean, I've been to games before, but it was just seemed like the stadium was, you know, they're winning, they're playing well this year, so the fans seem to be a little bit, you know, more into it than in, you know, previous games. So. But yeah, why don't we? I've got some shout outs I want to do before we get too far. I mean, we're already 25 minutes in. Couple shout outs that I normally do. So and I appreciate you joining me. It's always good to have a guest so that I don't have to ramble on for an hour by myself.
I was awake.
But we're going to do our shout outs. Get this channel a sub. I've got 3 this week, and I'm gonna try to drop the links as well. Jimmy G, I think he's in the chat, so definitely go sub him up. He's got a new channel. He's back. He's got a new Jimmy G, the comic guy's got a new channel, and he's doing some. He's selling off some of his collection, so he's got some eBay stuff. So definitely go check that out. I've checked out some of his eBay auctions. He's got some mostly modern books, but some really great deals. Like he's got like the complete run of like Geiger for like $20, starting, you know, a starting price. There's a couple others that I saw. So he needs to raise a little some money, so he's put a bunch of stuff up on eBay. So definitely go check out Jimmy. I think he's at only about 20 subs because this is a new channel. He had to restart a channel. So I dropped the link in the chat. Definitely go check out Jimmy G, and there he is. And then of course, since Jimmy's here, we have to show Jimmy's girlfriend.
You down with LCS? You down with LCS? You down with LCS? Who's down with LCS? You down with LCS? You down with LCS? You down with LCS? Who down with LCS?
So, Jimmy, that's for you. But a couple others joined us in the chat. E-Man, good morning. Joe, Pocan Joe's here. Silver Knight Kyle, good morning. Gene, our other friend from the Great White North. Just checking, making sure I'm not. Diamond Princess is here. Cole is here, and his mustache, I'm sure.
I'm just summing up everyone that you want us to right now.
Cool. And we've got our next subscribe or shout out is Too Tasty. He's a channel I discovered, I don't know, probably about a month or so ago. Let me drop his link. But the links are also in the description, so if you want to check out the channels. But Too Tasty, I think he's about maybe 150 subs. But, Comic Book Hall showing off his collection, so definitely go check him out. Yep, that's it. There you go. So definitely go check out his channel. He's got a great channel too. Fairly new to the community, so definitely go check him out. And last but not least is Nick's Kicks and Comics. So I wanted to mention Nick. He is close to 500 subs. So if you don't know Nick, go give him a sub. I think it was like 13 or 14 away from 500. I know he's been trying to.
I'll take a quick look for you, Brian.
Yeah, hit the 500 mark. So
I feel like that's a shame. He should be up. He should be right up there with you and I. 484.
44. Okay, so 16 away. I think he's got his. He does a Thursday show with Ignacio, which is must watch. Some of the things they discuss on that show, but he also does a garage sale on Sunday mornings. I think he starts around 10 a.m. Eastern too. So some great. If you're looking for some deals on some slabs and things, you definitely got to go check that out.
He is going to go live tomorrow, and he's posted some of the slabs on his Instagram feed.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
And I saw Something Is Killing the Children books. So everyone, please stay away from those ones when I bid on them.
Trev, congrats on 200.
That's great, man. Congratulations, Trev.
Yeah, it's great to see. I know, a bunch of people are hitting some sub milestones. I know Simple Simon was close to his watch hours to get monetized. He's over 1,000 subs.
Yes.
I think even the same thing for Super Russ 9000. He's at like 1,600 subs, but he's not yet monetized because he hasn't hit the watch hours. So definitely go check out Super Russ, and then there's Russ. He's in the chat. There he is.
Oh.
Jerry's here too. Good morning, Jerry.
Some of these channels I got to admit, Brent, I haven't heard of before, so I'm going to start summing them up as you go. Super Russ.
Yes, Russ has got a great channel. He usually he does a bunch of stuff with Simple Simon. They do a bunch of live streams. But yeah, he's got a great channel.
All right, Super Russ, I just subbed you up, my man.
Nice. E-Man says he's going to fight you for the
something. He looks like he's in tremendous shape, and I'm not the man I used to be. I may have to back off then if he's going for something that he wants.
Well, he might whip you with his hair, right?
He does have some of the most beautiful hair you'd ever see on a man.
Well, it wouldn't be a breakfast with Brian unless I actually showed some breakfast. So let's let me share my screen. Let me find the right tab. There we go. Madam and Master Blaster, who are usually here, they sent me in their breakfast. And I know the reason why they're not. There's Reggie Collects host a Garage Con every year. He actually hosts it at his house. And so this Saturday, today is actually the Garage Con. So I know a bunch of people were heading down to it. Reggie's in North Carolina. So I know a bunch of people were coming out to attend. So, but Madam and Master Blaster sent me their breakfast. So here's the picture of their breakfast that they sent me.
You Americans know how to eat. I'm telling you.
Well, and when I was looking at the picture that Matt sent me, I said, okay, I'm pretty clear that her breakfast is on the left, the little sandwich, and then Master has the big plate of
Okay.
home fries and crispy bacon and eggs and English muffins. So I could tell who was eating what. So, but yeah, so wanted to share their breakfast, and we've got a giveaway we're going to do in a little while as well. So, Big Lion Cat's here. Good morning. Well, we've got
Just
a bunch of
subscribe to Big
people
Lion
hanging out.
Cat. All right. This is a
Bunch
good way
of
for me
people.
to connect with some people in the comic book community.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that I'm going to make the garage con at one point. It's just tough this time of year. It's the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm knee deep in comic book community award stuff, which we're 2 weeks away from the live show. So Saturday night, December 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, where winners will be revealed. So I've got my work cut out for me. I've got some work I got to do this week. Get some stuff together for the live stream. Just ordered the trophies, so the trophies are on order. I should have them hopefully before Thanksgiving.
So, are you putting my first and last name on any of those trophies? I'm just
well.
curious.
That is a change we are making this year. We are adding the logo,
Okay.
the Comic Book Community Awards logo, and we will have the winners' names engraved. So, if you do win, you will have your name on the trophy.
So I'll ask some questions now about this, representing some of the people in the comic book community. Then, have the votes all been tallied at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So I know the way that it was this year. Basically, you write down the candidate's name, and I'm presuming then everything was done electronically. There was no you had to go in and physically count.
No, yeah. So I was able to basically take the all of the votes and then throw them in a spreadsheet, compile them, do a little pivot table magic, and determine who the winners were. Based on
Yep.
the votes. I mean, the Google. I use a Google form to collect all of the votes, and it actually gives me a preview. It gives me like a little pie chart of
Yeah.
who has the most votes. So I kind of spot check it throughout the voting process to see how things are trending. So I kind of had a sense, and there were some votes that people were clear out in the lead very early and stayed, and there were some others that flip flopped.
Okay.
Some votes that somebody was in the lead, and then somebody got more votes than they did. So. But yeah, and I compiled all of it, put it in a nice little spreadsheet, sent it out to some of the committee to validate, to just kind of get some second sets of eyes on Fanboy. Yeah, he's got a great channel, Fanboy Prime. He hangs out with his son Ollie,
Okay.
and they do some unboxings, or his son is showing off some of the stuff that he collects, and it's that Fanboy's got a great channel. You won't be disappointed with that one.
Now, as you know, I've been a champion for your under 100 subscriber award. That's the one that I like the most. That we're given recognition to a lot of these smaller channels, or channels that are just getting off on their first footing. But I got to admit, the Hall of Fame award as well. That is something very, very cool. How did you come up with that one, Brian?
The Lifetime?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that was just really, obviously there's channels that have been, on YouTube for, what I came to find out was that there are channels that have been on, 5-10 years, so
Yep.
not only the real big channels, but other channels who have, a pretty solid following, but have been doing this for, a lot longer than I really kind of expected. And so, that was just kind of all right. Well, we have to recognize not only channels that maybe have the big sub numbers, but also the people that have had longevity on YouTube and have been doing it for for a long time. So that's really how that that came about.
Yeah, it's a stellar lineup for this voting this time. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
say who I voted for, but it was tough because I didn't realize, like, I watch all of their content. Like, and I watched it before I was a part of this YouTube community. It was stuff like, okay, I need to find out what's going on in comic books and stuff. And those were the channels that I was checking out. And yeah, it's here's to them. Like, I guess
yeah,
really,
I think
like,
it's
being
it's a
nominated
pretty
really
good.
does mean something. So I'm hoping they feel the same way.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, and I think I'm hopeful that if people don't are not aware of a channel that gets nominated or becomes a finalist, that they go check them out because obviously there's a enough people watching their channels and thinking enough of those channels to put their name in consideration. But I think the finalist group is a really good group, and it's a pretty good. It's a mixed group. I think there's different pockets of the community, so I think it's well represented. So which is good. Um, so, but
So
yeah, so we're 2 weeks away. Trophies are ordered, and I've got some work. I'm off this week, this Thanksgiving week for. I'm off from work, so I'm going to work on getting everything together for the live stream. I have some some video stuff that I need to produce, and just get organized so I'm ready for the show.
so one last question about this. Did you receive any empty ballots? Like, are you aware of any empty ballots coming in? I.e., say people filled out the 1,000 to was 2,500 or that those categories, but left a couple empty. Did that happen at all?
Yeah, so and that was a change that I made probably about halfway through the voting for the finalists this year, based on some feedback. Um, Initially, the ballot you had to vote for all. You couldn't submit your ballot unless you voted for all 22 channels, all
Right.
22 categories. So at some point, I had some feedback. Some people reached out to me directly, and then I had a few other community members that were hearing this from different pockets of the community. Was that well, I'm not familiar with maybe this category, or I don't want to vote on all 22 because I'm unfamiliar, with maybe channels within a particular category. So I switched it where you could submit your ballot with only voting for one category. Or,
Okay.
so you could do one or you could do as many as you like. You didn't have to vote for all 22. So once I made that switch, I
Excellent.
started to see votes come in with only, particular categories,
Yeah.
or some were just one category. But most had, even after the switch, most had multiple categories voted for. But my hope, and the reason why I initially did that you had to vote for all 22 was that you would go check out those channels that you were unfamiliar with and maybe sub them up or at least give them a like and a watch. Um, so, but the feedback was, hey, we would rather see it this way, so I switched it up. And I'm looking over the finalist votes. We had over 800 total votes come in,
Wow.
individual votes,
Wow.
but most of the categories fell in like the 600 range. So there were some categories that had 640, 680. So it was overall it was 800, but because of that individual voting, not everybody reached 800 total votes. So if that makes sense.
Yep. Totally. Wow. That's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Jerry, and I don't know if I would. I mean, I could certainly do that. I have the data available to be able to show the numbers afterwards. There are certainly some close races. There are a few categories that are, one or two votes, switch it, we'll flip it. I mean, it's that close in
That
some of the
close.
categories. Yeah, there was one
Sounds like
category that
American
I think
elections for
one vote
sure.
separated the winner from the second place. So it's interesting, and there are some that there were, like I said, clear winners that were from the beginning. They kind of jumped out to a lead and never looked back, and then there were others that flip flopped where somebody was in a lead for a long time, and then but maybe the second place person was close, and then at some point it flipped. So. Um, Wow, I think this is Comic Journey's third birthday this year, Cole, according to your. your math, I think.
Yeah, well, if this is not true, he totally hooked me in.
Because I know I was supposed to buy him a slice of birthday cake in New York at New York Comic Con last month. So um, he's aging very rapidly this
Yes,
year. So
yes.
um,
He's catching up for those COVID years he missed. Shop.
but yeah, so like I said, I have a little bit of work to do this week. The biggest thing was getting the trophies finalized. Now that I had the votes, the finalist votes in and winner declared, so that I could, get the winners' names engraved on the trophies. So, but yeah, so now it's just getting ready, preparing for the live show, and getting everything, together for that. So.
Okay, so if you want to switch gears into the live show, are you planning on having any potential winners backstage, or is it all going to be you and any filming of segments to introduce a particular category? Is that something you want to share with the comic book community right now, Brian?
Yeah, so that's one change that I wanted to make from last year. So there were a few awards where we had all of the nominee or the finalists on. I remember the one instance where we had Reggie Collects. I think it was an unboxing award, and we had Reggie Collects, DJ Links, Remy Q. They were all finalists last year, but Reggie won, and so the to have the people that didn't win on camera, I think was a mistake on my part, because you don't win, and so sure, you're happy for the other guy, but you didn't win, and so there's I kind of thought of it like the Oscars or any other award show where they show they box all the different finalists,
Yeah.
but we're on a live stream, so I couldn't just cut away, so. That
You may
I'm
have
not going to do that, but if you do win an award and would like to come on and say a few words, any winners will be invited. I after the fact, I kind of thought that was an awkward thing to do, to have the non-winners on. I don't want to call them losers because they're all winners in my mind, but
Well,
to
just to get
have the
nominated.
non-winners on was a little like, oh, this isn't fun. So. That'll definitely be done, and we're going to do similar format to last year, where we're going to have community videos, and I'm going to be doing some videos, in between the announcement of the winners.
So
But yeah,
have you started recording any vignettes for introductions to videos or anything yet?
no,
Okay.
it's all going to
Okay.
be done this coming week. I have,
Okay.
like I said, I'm off from work, and I have everything, kind of scripted out, or my notes of what I want to do. So it's just a matter of, shooting the video and then editing them. So I do have some work ahead of me, but it's fun work. So it's not, I'm looking forward to it. So,
Yes.
the rest of the family is at school or working the first couple days of this week. So I'll have the house to myself, and I'll be able to, take care of whatever I need to do. So some quality time to knock out the, the videos and stuff. Beckerman's here. Good morning, sir. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
One last question.
Sure.
Jerry has asked, is the tuxedo shirt coming out?
Yes, it's. I have to pick it up at the dry cleaners. But yes, the tuxedo shirt has been stored properly since last year. I hope I haven't put on too much weight, that it still fits nicely, but we'll see. But yes, that's on my to-do list. I have to pick it up and make sure it's it's cleaned and pressed.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cole, that doesn't surprise me. Why don't we, because we're 45 minutes in, we're going to do our giveaway. So let me share my screen again. And now I've got the half of the team that inspired the giveaway with the whole picking books from the short box. So let's see. You guys should see that now. No, we've got me. It's not the one I wanted. Let's try this again. I have too many windows open. Oh, there it is. I got it now. All right. All right. So since we're 2 weeks away, the hashtag this week is 2 weeks. And we will give everybody a chance to get in on that. And then we will run the giveaway.
So, Brian, what was your read of the week so far?
That's a good question. I have a stack of books here. I
Yep.
really enjoyed 2 books this week that I really enjoyed was Junkyard Joe.
Okay, issue 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
That was fun. And the Blade one shot I thought was really.
I thought that was excellent. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I picked that book up just as a refresher for myself because I haven't read Blade since the Midnight Suns way back in the early 90s as a teenager. So yeah, Brian, I'm with you on that one. I really enjoyed it.
And I'm wondering, have you been reading Moon Knight?
Bits and pieces of it here and there. I do like Jed McKay, but it's not a constant on my pull list.
Because there's kind of been a vampire storyline that's been kind of happening throughout Moon Knight, the current run. So I'm wondering and there were some things in the Blade story that kind of some characters or mention of characters that kind of crossed over. So I'm wondering if we might, get Blade or, some, storylines that kind of cross over between that Blade one shot and Moon Knight. So
I myself, Something is Killing the Children return after its hiatus, and it is action packed. Now, it's hard for me to come out and say this was a bad Something is Killing the Children issue just because I love this story so much. But this one is definitely top 5 for the entire run so far. Just flat out action with the assassin Cutter coming after Erica Slaughter. And I also enjoyed Namor, the Submariner issue number 2. Basically, it's set in the future where the world has been flooded out due to global warming, and everyone has to turn to the world that Namor rules in order to survive. And reading and watching how the politics and the action plays out with people not necessarily wanting to be ruled, it's been a good fun read.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting. That's an interesting. Yeah. If we're covered in water, we've got to.
Yep.
What did you think of? You saw Black Panther, right? What did you?
5 out of 5. For me, it's I think it's the best comic book movie of the year. I think it's the best Marvel movie since Spider-Man: No Way Home. It was as perfect could be with everything that's happened in that world.
Yeah, I thought it was done really well. I thought they honored Chadwick, and it was a little slow, but I understood why because of the things they were trying to do, with the storytelling. They were trying to introduce you to Namor, and so there was a little bit of backstory there and giving you, where he came from. And then trying to, tell the story of, how the, Shuri and the family was dealing with the loss of the Black Panther, and everybody, all of the main characters kind of dealt with it differently. So
there was a couple moments where I literally felt my jaw hit the floor. It's just like I thought Angela Bassett she was incredible. I really hope she gets nominated for this performance. And the only reason why I say that is because Black Panther 1 was nominated for so many of those Oscars, and she took a script that I thought was very well done and made it even better. Every time she was on screen, my eyes were on her for everything she was doing. She was just terrific. I don't want to spoil it for other people, but I'm sure you can figure out when I'm talking about when my mouth hit the floor. It's just like, what is going on in this movie? Like, what? There's going to be nothing left here. Nothing left.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic save for the year that Marvel's had, in my opinion. Let's just see where Guardians goes with the holiday special.
Yes. Hopefully it's not like the Star Wars holiday special.
Right.
Well, and then I think the so it's kind of processing the whole film, as the credits are rolling, and then they drop that mid-credit scene on you, which was another like big moment, because I didn't see that coming. So not going to say anything
Right.
about it, but
Right.
I think that was like, wow, they hit you one more time before you left.
Yep. So there's hope. There's hope.
All right, we're going to run the giveaway.
All right, Jean Malot.
Congrats, Gene.
All right.
All right, let me grab the box.
Magnifique.
So, Chris, we've just like Rob does.
Okay.
So you want to? We do 5. We give away 5 books. Yeah. So,
all right. Let's see if I can find some bangers for Jean. Now I know Monsieur Malot prefers Alien and stuff like that. So I don't know what's in the box, but I kind of have an idea what flavor he likes. So let's go 7 from the front, Brian.
7. All right, we've got Uncanny Avengers. Ooh. This is issue 21.
That's a great cover. Great cover.
All right.
Okay. I see Digger Jim 720s in there. Let's go 7 from the back.
We've got All-Star Comics 80-page giant.
Nice. Some good stories in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to front. Now. And can you grab those 2 issues that your finger splits?
2. All right. So we've got Trinity, little Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Love it.
That is, let me see. I think that's just Trinity number 2.
Awesome.
And then we have, so this is Avengers. This is the free comic book day book. So when we hit a free comic book day, we get to pick an extra book.
All right. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, Jean. Okay. Let's go the same way. And if it's going to be 2 books, we'll have your finger split it. 3, 2, 1. Now, Brian.
All right. All right. We've got the Dead Lucky.
Nice. Nice.
And then issue 1 of Lady Hell.
Awesome. Is that a photo cover? That is fantastic artwork.
Yeah, I believe that
awesome. Is. Yep. Awesome.
Little scantily clad woman for Gene. So let's see. That's 1, 2. I think that was it. 5, 6. Yep.
All right.
Awesome. So Gene, congrats. Chris, thanks for the assist.
My pleasure. Everyone that's hanging out in the chat still, please make sure you hit that like button. Let's try and get Brian here on the algorithm.
Yes, thank you. And then, let's see. So comic books, the only other thing that there was a couple books that I read this week that I really didn't care for. Venom. Have you been reading Venom?
I have been reading Venom.
I don't know. I struggled to get through this. So this is issue 13.
So Brian, I'll be honest, because Dark Web has been on the horizon for a few months now. That's the only reason why I did not drop Venom 3 or 4 months ago, because I knew obviously that the symbiote is going to be heavily tied into Dark Web somehow. Like, they're not going to do a Spider-Man crossover story without Venom being a part of it. And I wanted to be at least educated with Venom up to that point. But my God, it's tough reading, man. It's tough.
I struggled. I read what I'll do is I'll stack up the books in kind of the reading order that I want to read it, and that was at the bottom of the pile.
Right.
And then I'll read 2 or 3, and then take a break and come back. And so I only had 2 or 3 books to finally read, and that was one of the last ones. And I at points I kind of find myself just kind of flipping through the pages because it was just difficult. Yeah,
Okay,
Cole.
I'll do one. Okay, I give you my word. I don't give you my word on when, but I will.
It's funny though. I think that this month's cover challenge, the fight covers, I've seen a lot of people do. It seems like
I
people are
just may
jumping on board
go.
on that one.
I just may go DC versus vampires the whole way through, just because of how much I love that, and all those covers have fighting on them. So.
Yeah, so Phil's got a show. Phil does a show this morning at 11 a.m. So we're going to wrap up here in the next couple minutes. So everybody can go join Phil. Yeah, I know, Jacob. You had said that. I don't know. I've found it a struggle the last couple, and I didn't. I just got back into collecting when King in Black was happening, so I didn't read a lot of the King in Black storyline. So I don't really have that background. So yeah, it was. I liked it. I mean,
Yeah, I gotta admit, I kind of liked it too. I know issue 3 is supposed to be the beginning of the Dark Web crossover for this particular run, and the Queen Goblin is going to return, I believe, in that issue. So that's a female villain that I've really enjoyed out of the last volume of Spider-Man. And so I only picked this up because I want the backstory before she shows up. But this was all right. Like, I can't complain. It was a good book, and I didn't think it was going to be as good as what it was. So,
well, and I think as Spider-Man fans, we want to see where Norman's going, right? Is he going to continue to stay good and battle the demons in his head, or is he going to make that turn again and all hell break loose? So,
yeah,
just catching up. Freedom's here. Good morning, all the way from the Netherlands, or evening, or whatever time it is at.
I think it's late afternoon, probably at this point. Yeah, early evening.
Yeah, so the Ewing piece is what really I like the Dylan side. The Dylan storyline has been good in Venom, but the Venom, the Eddie Brock piece where he's out in space and just that kind of loses me. I have not really enjoyed that. So, all right, 5 p.m. All right, so Chris was right. Chris got the world clock.
I only know this because I used to wake up very early to watch Formula One racing, and I know the races usually start at 1 or 2 o'clock over in Europe, and I'd be up at 7 o'clock to watch them live. And same with the EPL.
Naman's here. Good morning, Naman. Hope all is well. I know you've been traveling and on the road, so. But yeah, I think I've got a few other books that I'm waiting to come in the mail. She-Hulk. I have She-Hulk on order from this past week. That's been a fun series. That's been a very light series compared to some of the other storylines that I've been reading. I'm trying to think what else I have that I haven't read from this week, but I don't remember. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Spider-Man's world right now, right? Between the Dark Web, we've got the end of Spider-Verse storyline. He's a busy guy these days.
Yeah, and as Spider-Man readers, I think you and I would both agree we're in a better place with the character than what we were 2.5 years ago when it comes to storytelling around Peter Parker. I'm hoping Dark Web really lifts him up. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ben has turned into and how much damage he potentially could do in this chasm.
Oh yeah. It's interesting that we haven't really, it's been months since we've seen him.
Right, the end of the last volume. So basically just over a year now.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we're a year into the new run. That's right. Yeah, no, it's been good. I think it's gone, it's the story's headed in the right direction.
I kind of feel like it's been the beginning of the roller coaster with this new volume. Kind of. Then it's been good. Around 7, 8, 9, it got a lot better.
Yeah, and between Queen Goblin and what's going on with Norman, and yeah, I think we're going to kind of see, some good things continue to happen with the story. So
Right. I'm glad that Zeb Wells is going to focus on her at least for a couple issues, because she wasn't his creation. I believe that was the female writer that was handling ASM for a couple issues there. I forget her name right now. But I kind of thought she was going to be a one and done kind of villain. I really hope that she wasn't, but to see that she's going to be in the Gold Goblin series, and I've seen a couple other images of her dealing with Chasm and Peter. Let's see. I really like these psychopathic villains that just have no problem massacring whoever gets in their way, and like and that's what I like when Spider-Man has to go up against that kind of villain. It's not just someone who's out to rob a bank or steal a glider kind of thing. I'm just here to do this, and whoever gets my way, I'm going to wipe them out.
Right.
And that's what she did right off with a bang, especially with workers at the Daily Bugle.
Oh yeah. So,
yeah.
The little unhinged villain, right? Not the one who's trying to gain power or wealth. The one who's just
yeah. Sinister
nutty.
War, evil. Yeah, Sinister War was like, I had quiet hopes for it. I know Jed McKay, or pardon me, not Jed McKay. There's another Canadian writer that did a little bit of the backstory writing with Nick Spencer doing it. But again, it almost seemed like Peter wasn't the focal point of the Sinister Wars. Like we had the Human Fly, like all these different unnecessary villains trying to be good guys and stuff. It got out of control really fast.
Yeah, the main issue that I had with Volume 5 was that it was just such a slow burn. Like it was 80 something issues, and the villain was we were still playing out the villain over such a long period of time.
Yeah, you may be able to do that with the Hulk. Al Ewing's run on the Immortal Hulk, 50 issues, was solid. I haven't heard that many people complain about it. It worked. Everyone knew what the end was going to be a part of the journey that was often a slow burn to get there. You can't do that with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not that type of character. You're right. It was too much of a slow burn. It should have been 10 issues max.
Right.
But that's Spencer's style.
Yeah, that was it wasn't. I didn't find it like totally bad, because being a Spider-Man fan, but it was just like, can we move on from this storyline? Like we always have this thing happening in the background, and we're not sure what's going on, and we're gonna just. It seemed like it was really they dragged it out. So.
But yeah.
All right, Gene's wrapping up. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up because
okay.
I think Phil's kicked off his show, so go over to Philtastic Comics channel and go give him a follow and a like, and check out his live stream this morning. So, but Chris, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you being
pleasure.
here.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Always good to have a partner in crime, so that, like I said, I don't have to. I don't have to do this all by myself.
Oh, you do a great job, man. You do a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. We're going to leave you with something. We'll leave you with a little taste of Taylor Winder from last year's Comic Book Community Awards. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for everybody hanging out this morning. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Oh, thank you all so much. It was an honor just to be nominated. Yeah, I'm sure no one else is going to do that joke, right? Well, maybe not. There might not be any other videos. I don't know, because I was asked last minute. I had a day to make this, and I'm sure I'm not a replacement for somebody who is much better than me. All right, let's do this. I'm going to review this. Also, I'm supposed to review an award ceremony before it happens, right? And talk about the awards? I don't know. All right, here we go. Best unboxing video. Man, that sort of has something to do with comics. People's Choice. That's clearly rigged. Best collaboration project or event. That's just white people trying to hip hop, and yeah. Best speculation comic. Okay, that's sort of comic-y. It's about the evil of the industry and first appearance of Morbius's left toenail. Best cleaning, pressing, comic restoration. Okay, that's history. That's restoring some stuff. I'll give it that. Most entertaining content creator. I've got to be on that list, right? No. Okay. Comic Book Community Builder Award. Okay, yeah. That's a legit one. Best ongoing series of comic books? Oh, no. Okay. Best new channel? No, I'm not. All right. Community or comic book community channel of the year? That's like the 14th community award, right? Okay, lots of community. Not so much about reading comics. And Lifetime Achievement Award, the Stan Lee Award. You know he's dead, right? Okay, all right. So there's nothing about reviewing comics, nothing about reading comics, nothing about actually consuming the thing other than the speculation thing, which sort of, I guess that counts, except for it's not actually really reading or enjoying the book. It's just saying, hey, this is going to be worth some money. It's like the investing financial advice version of comics. So, all right, yeah, okay. First year of the award show. Nice graphics. I'm sure you're going to win a handsome award. Yeah, okay. Here's my review. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right, that's all I got.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.